Bonjour, monsieur et mademoiselle. Welcome to another video review for filmandgamecomposers.com. I'm your host, Meena Shamaly, and today I'll be taking you through Bad Cat Samples Performachord. What is a performachord, I hear you ask? According to the website on badcatsamples.com, performachord, this is the description, is a reed-based instrument that is somewhat a cross between an organ and an accordion. And it is also commonly known as a chord organ, among other couple of names. And I think that's all you need to know about it from me. You can read the description in more detail later on from the website. So it runs in Kontakt 5.3, this sample library, and you need the full version of Kontakt, so it won't work in the free Kontakt player. And as I say every single time, get the full version of Kontakt if you haven't already, because it's super useful. Not just for playing sample libraries, but for also manipulating them and editing them further than what may otherwise be allowed in the free player. Get it, you will not regret it, it's amazing. So, this sells for $19.99, and as you can see over here, Marcus from Bad Cat Samples was kind enough to give me an NFR copy to do this review with. So, let's get stuck into it. So in the folder structure, you get two patches, the right hand and the left hand. And they have to be separate because they're different in the original instrument. And we'll see why. So we'll load up the right hand, and this is what it sounds like straight out of the box. So as you can tell from the sound, I'll play a little more, maybe in the upper register. So as you can tell, it's a very natural sound, very well recorded, and this is what I admire about Bad Cat Samples, is that their stuff is extremely well recorded, and that means that not only does it sound natural and great and very fun to play, as you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun doing this, but also it takes to further manipulation really well. And I'll show you what I did with that in a bit. But let's have a look at the interface, and the interface is the same for both. So we'll have a look at the interface for the right hand, and then we'll have a look at what the left hand patch sounds like. We'll have a listen to what the left hand. We'll have a listen to what the left hand patch sounds like, and here I'm stumbling over my words, and that's fine. Moving right along. So one of the beautiful things that were offered is a key noise. So the sound of the keys being pressed down has been sampled as well in the original instrument, and you can turn that up to taste. And turn it right up. It's kind of subtle, that's fine, but you can turn it all the way down. So keep it at the default level, it's pretty cool. You get a reverb, which is similar to what they do with the Indie Glock and the Music Box, their other sample libraries. And it comes turned on by default, but let's turn it off and see what it sounds like. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a Riviera thing. I don't know. The sound just lends itself to doing that kind of thing. But of course, you can do whatever you want. You can go like. That's the nature of the sound, so that's what you do. So the reverb's pretty cool. Puts it. If I turn it right up, so it's pretty far back in the room, and put the decay up. Maybe put it down a little bit, and you can have it sitting in a room a little bit more. So that's the reverb. Just put it back to default. Now another cool feature is that the fan noise. So this instrument in the real world has a fan, and they've isolated the sound of the fan and given it to you as a separate thing. You can operate it two ways. You can either press on off here and just have a listen to it. You can turn it up and down if you need to. So the other way you can do that is C1 or C0, which is this one, depending on your keyboard and what it prefers or your sequencer. You can just hold it down, so turn it on, hold it down for the fan noise, and then lift it off to turn the thing off. So like this. And I'll tell you what, turn this on in a hot day, if you're having a hot day in the studio. Turn this on, and by some kind of placebo effect, you will feel that the room is cooling up. I don't know how that works. It's a psychological thing, but this actually does that. So this has more uses than just samples. So it's pretty fun. But you can do a lot of cool things with it. So you can do that and then play, and then so I'll just put it back at default. So I suppose maybe you wanted a more natural sound with a hint of realism in real world. I'm not sure how the fan works in the original instrument. I'd have to actually see one. But that's fine. That's fine. So that is the interface in a nutshell. And I'll show you the left-hand patch. Same interface. Now have a look at the different colored sections of the keyboard. So it's called a chord organ because each one of these is a type of chord. First, there's just normal bass notes. And then you got major chords. You got minor chords. And seventh chords. Like dominant seventh chords. So that is by virtue of the original instrument, and you can do stuff like this. And maybe put in the bass notes with it if you need. And the cool thing about the bass notes is you can kind of change the bass note, change the inversion. So you can do an F minor chord, for example, with an A flat bass. So you can do what you need to. and combine some of these to kind of make different versions of chords. So if you want a major 7th chord, it's a combination of a minor and a major chord. So an A flat major 7th would just be a C minor with an A flat. So or a C major 7th chord would be a C major and an E minor. You can do a lot of things with this, and maybe if you want to extend the 7th chord thing, go C. Maybe what am I thinking? C major 7th. I haven't really thought this through, but you can extend it to like the 9th with the G minor, and extend it to the 13th. To the 11th and the 13th. No, that was the 11th. Never mind. I'm all rusty on my jazz. So that's fine. So you can do all these combinations if you need to. So as you can tell, this is a really well recorded instrument. I think that's about it for what the instrument actually offers as per the patches. Now, very well recorded. Sound quality is fantastic, and does not fail to deliver. Bad Cat Samples do not fail to deliver on sound quality and affordability. I suppose bang for the buck. This is the main component. You get one instrument for $20, and it sounds great and it's very useful. You need it in a situation, you will find it, because sometimes you can use this in many different situations. You can use it for like tango. It's like whatever. I'm just doing the typical cliche tango thing, but maybe you want this kind of how does it go? It's like I can't remember what I think that's the 2 Steps from Hell track. I think it's called like Devil's Circus or something. I don't know, but this just popped into my head. So you can do a lot with it, and maybe even in, I don't know, in pop you can use it if you need to. I don't know. There's a lot of situations. It's up to you what you can do with it, but that's the sound quality. Now, what I like to do is I like to see what else I can do with the samples beyond the traditional manner. And what I did was I put it through effects. So I'll open up the one I prepared earlier. I put it through a bunch of effects with the left hand, the chords one. And this is what it sounds like. So somehow you can sort of coax a synth ambient pads choir sound out of it. That's what came along. So I'll show you what I did. I had just 3 effects, and I'll turn them off and turn them back on one by one. So got Native Instruments guitar rig, and that is a whole suite of effects in its own. And it's fantastic. I like to manipulate sounds with it. This is what it would sound like without any effect whatsoever. So first thing I did was tune it down by 12 by an octave, which, because it's a well-recorded library, it takes well to. So I can do a lot with it. And I'll turn these back on one by one. So we have a bit of an amplifier and a control room that controls the mics aimed at the amplifier. And this is the most important part, a completely wet psych delay with reverse engaged. So there's a lot of crazy stuff. And you get another delay. And get another reverb. So that kind of gives size to the delays as well. And another reverse reverb from the reflectors. And then on top of that, we got Quantum Leap Spaces, a cathedral. And on top of that, we've got an equalizer, which just kind of tames it for the mix, but that's about it. So I can get a lot out of this one sound, which was originally just a like doot staccato, and you can even hold it down and see what it sounds like. There's a lot of potential to what you can do with it. So that's what I did. But seriously, it just sounds like a distant choir in the background, which is beautiful. The fact that you can actually get that out of it, I love it. And it's a testament to the recording quality and to, you know, what you can do with it. So if it takes well to manipulation, takes well to effects, which is what I said about the indie Glock as well. So I think that's it from me. I'll show you the track that I wrote with it, which is pretty simple. I just played with those and played with the chords. And I'll also show you a pitched down version of it. I pitched it down by an octave after I did the whole track. And that sounded sort of the same but different. It really altered the sound quality of it as well. And it's beautiful. So you can pitch something down after you haven't applied a bunch of effects to it and bounced it out to audio. And you can do a lot. Have a listen. I'll leave you with it. So for $19.99, you can get the Performachord, Bad Cat Samples' newest library. And from me, I will catch you guys later. See you in the next one.